This is Beyond a Reasonable Doubt with your hosts, Mark Garrigus and Gary Smith.
BPS, how are you? I was just lamenting before we got on the air. It feels like I haven't seen you in a week, or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know.
It has been a minute. You've been a little busy and therefore out of the office. And so we've been holding it down in your stead.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And, there's a lot of legal stories going on. And I've talked in other places about Timothy Busfield. I've talked about Blake Lively. Obviously, I'm following the Alexander brothers and Tenney closely, but maybe not getting as much attention as I personally think it should are these congressional hearings involving Jack Smith. And can you call up one of these? Let's just dive right in.
How many days?
Mr. Smith, on November 18th, 2022, A.G. Garland appointed you as special counsel. Can you tell me about your swearing in or the oath of office that you took after that?
I don't recall the specifics of it. I know I was sworn in. I don't recall the specifics of how that was done.
You don't remember who swore you in?
I don't.
Would you agree that taking the oath of office is a legal requirement for the job that you had?
I've taken oaths of office regularly. I haven't researched whether it's required or not, but I've done that, I think, in every government case.
It is required. Terms I heard earlier today were atypical, irregular, no proper procedure. Yet in your opening statement, you said that we followed Justice Department policies, and I would assume you meant the law as well. It strikes me as odd that you don't remember who swore you in, how you were sworn in. It's pretty significant. We all get sworn in here, and I remember every day. You don't remember who swore you in.
I don't remember the details of it as I sit here today.
But you did take the oath of office before you got rolling.
I think my recollection is it was when I was appointed.
It was when. It strikes me as odd that Attorney General Garland had you retake the oath of office on the 14th of September of the following year. Why did he make you do that?
As I sit here right now, I do not recall. I know that there is the oath of office that I signed.
How many days after
on the 18th?
I don't even understand. You know what this reminds me of, Gary? I've talked to you before about during the Whitewater trial, one of the first witnesses I called 25 years ago was the U.S. attorney who was head of the Little Rock office, Hickman Ewing. And the jury, after listening to him for a half an hour, just say, I don't recall, but I kind of dance around it. I wasn't buying anything he was selling. This is astonishing if you think about it. Here's the guy who has been appointed to investigate the president of the United States. And that's what he's being appointed by the attorney general. He's left his job as in an international crime tribunal to take probably the biggest plum assignment that any prosecutor can have post Nuremberg. And he doesn't remember who swore him in or whether it was sworn in, and he assumed it was at the oath. And he does a dance around these things. Well, play again. Let's hear the cross that's being done by this congressional member.
Okay, let me just make sure I can find the right one here. Here we go.
The oath of office that I signed, I believe it was on the 18th, the day that I was appointed. And I know the department had me do a second one. I don't know the particulars of why they asked me to do it again, but
I'm sorry. You don't know the particulars? Who would know the particulars if it's not you?
Yes, wait a second. I think I took the oath, but wait, 18 months later, the attorney general had me retake the oath. But wait a second. I don't remember the first oath, but I'm taking the oath again in 18 months. And I don't know why. I have no
way,
come on up. I need you to take an oath. Why am I taking an oath? I thought I already took the oath.
You want to play the end of it?
Yes.
Okay.
You signed it on the 20th of November 2022, but there was no witness, which, I mean, you have to agree it's a little odd. If there's no witness saying that you took the oath of office, it would maybe make someone like me question whether or not you were legitimately doing the job until you finally took the oath of office. It sounds like the Attorney General had the same question and thought, oh shit, we got to have him sign this on the 14th day of September of the following year. So why did you take the oath of office again on the 14th of September of the following year when you say you took the office in November of 2022? Why'd you need to do it twice?
My recollection is that I took the oath of office, as you said, it was the 18th or the 20th, and felt I was under the oath of office. I believe, if you have it in front of you, I think I signed an oath.
You signed it, but there was no witness. There was supposed to be either notarized or a witness. And apparently Attorney General Garland thought it was significant enough to have you do another oath 11 months later. That's strange, right?
I don't know why they asked me to sign it again. I don't recall ever discussing this issue with Attorney General Garland.
Well, that is just wild to me.
I am so with this guy. By the way, the irony that he's tasked with investigating the January 6th and the classified materials, or the which are, by the way, getting sworn in and having the electors and basically revolve around an oath. And he doesn't remember the oath. He doesn't remember. By the way, if you think this is inconsequential, I have seen judges routinely every day reject declarations in run-of-the-mill courthouses and court cases because it wasn't signed under declaration of perjury, let alone in a case where it's supposed to be notarized, or in the alternative, have a witness, a competent witness. And this guy is acting like he's some kind of a rube who just fell off some kind of a
turnip truck.
It's astonishing. Now, there's another young man, and I say
we're going to save that. We're going to save that one for last because that one's the best. So we're saving the best for last, and we have one more that we're going to play in between. And this one is a much more recognizable figure. This is Jim Jeffries going at it with Jack Smith. Jim Jordan. My mistake. Thank you for correcting me.
$35 million. And what I want to know is how much of that $35 million of taxpayer money did you give to confidential human sources? We know you gave $20,000 to someone. It just got reported last week. How much more money did you pay confidential people we don't know about, with American tax money going after the guy we elected president?
My recollection regards the $20,000, which was not a payment from me. It was me approving a payment by the FBI to a confidential human source who was reviewing video and photographic.
Who's the source?
I do not know the identity of the source.
How many other payments went to this source or other sources?
As I sit here, I do not know the answer to that question. My role as special counsel,
$35 million, and you're giving money to people the country doesn't know who they are, and you're giving their hard-earned money to these folks? The main question I have, too, with this is, why'd you have to do it? You subpoenaed bank records from the RNC, phone records from members of Congress. You got subpoenas for bank records from people sitting right there on the front row. Why did you have to pay people for information when you could subpoena them and get it?
Time has expired.
Time has expired. You can answer the question, though. Country'd like to know why you had to do it.
My recollection and understanding is the payment, the $20,000 that I approved, was for a confidential human source to assist in the review of video and photographic evidence showing people who were attacking the Capitol, attacking police officers, obstructing the proceeding, and seeing if we could prove that some of those people had come directly.
That wasn't my question, but my time has expired. The gentleman.
So that's so good. Because
Yeah, it is.
What that means is not only did he approve it, he has no idea who it was he approved it for, which you can imagine if you're the defendant in a case that he has prosecuted. Mind you, this is the same guy who convicted the governor in Virginia, and a unanimous Supreme Court reversed it because he had stretched the law beyond any recognition. He's now being asked simple questions like, why'd you have to pay 20 grand to somebody? They had to pay 20 grand to somebody to get somebody to identify and sit and look at videotapes. And I'll bet you, how much you want to bet that anybody who defended one of the people who was identified by somebody who was paid money, it was never disclosed to that person that there was money being paid to the person to ID somebody who was being prosecuted. It's just this, one of the beautiful things that I love about this, and one of the reasons that a lot of my friends get so mad at me because I call it out when it happens, is this happens every single time you have special counsels, whether it was in the 90s with Ken Starr. By the way, Jim Jordan, Ken Starr spent, I think, $73 million going after Clinton and McDougal. And by the way, now, and it works for, I forget the name of the guy who was coming after, was appointed as special counsel to come after Hunter Biden, who was spending money, the old George Allen joke that Edward Bennett Williams gave him an unlimited checkbook, and the guy exceeded it already. And here we're just paying money. We have no idea where the $35 million went.
It's hard to really fathom, and I would not bet with you over the fact that those defendants it was not disclosed to them.
Oh, it was never disclosed.
Of course not.
Clear Brady and Giglio material, never disclosed. Now let's go to the coup de grace, if you will, Gary. Do you have that teed up?
I do.
By the way, let me just do a little intro for this guy, because we may just leave it here because he does such a great job. This young man is 31 years old. I believe is a lawyer.
I believe so. And I believe he was also in the military service before that. I can't remember which branch, possibly the Marines, but I did see that he served in the armed forces. He's 31 years old. And then the nugget that you picked up upon closer reading, and I did not see in my initial scan, I just was kind of highlighting the fact that he was very, very young, but he's also married to the daughter of Dinesh D'Souza, Danielle.
Isn't that wild? But watch him. I mean, for lawyers out there, just watch this skillful cross-examination of a non-lawyer cross-examining a prosecutor who was handpicked, who left the International Crimes Tribunal to handpick the biggest prosecutorial job of his lifetime, his career, and many other careers by the Attorney General. Watch this.
How many days after Kevin McCarthy was sworn in as Speaker did you subpoena his records?
I don't recall, but those two things had nothing to do with one.
It was 16 days after becoming the highest ranking Republican in the House of Representatives. You subpoenaed his toll records. Do you agree that that might reasonably be considered a violation of the speech or debate clause?
I do not, and I want to be clear that the toll records...
You were collecting months' worth of phone data on the Republican Speaker of the House, the leader of the opposition, right after he got sworn in as Speaker, all around the time of a major vote. That sounds like a flagrant violation of the speech or debate clause to me, and I think most people agree with me. And Speaker McCarthy had no recourse, did he? Because you issued a non-disclosure order ensuring that neither he nor any of the American people knew about these subpoenas. Is that right?
The toll record, the non-content toll record subpoenas, we did secure non-disclosure orders for those subpoenas.
You did. And let me ask you, Mr. Smith, at the time you secured those non-disclosure orders, was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
The non-disclosure order was based on concerns about...
Was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
He was not.
He was not. Then why did your non-disclosure order refer to him as a flight risk? It says right here, the court finds reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in flight from prosecution.
Sir, when securing a non-disclosure order, the risks don't have to be associated.
You think that the Speaker of the House is a flight risk?
The question?
No, this is not your time. This is my time. You think the Speaker of the House is a flight risk? You think he's going to hop on a plane and leave the country?
No, what I was trying to explain is with respect to a non-disclosure order, the risks aren't necessarily associated with the subscriber to the phone. They're the risks to the investigation.
I think that you were using, this was clearly in reference to Speaker McCarthy, and you were using clearly false information to secure a non-disclosure order to hide from Speaker McCarthy and from the American people the fact that you were spying on his toll records.
By the way, I hate to accuse people. Well, I'm going to just say it. What he says, what's the young man's name?
Brandon Gill.
Brandon Gill. He's looking at a non-disclosure order that says that there is a flight risk to and directed at the Speaker of the House's. And you notice he slips in, it's a non-content, meaning the register of calls. It's
right.
Like you see what they are, but you don't have, it's not like a wiretap, Title III wiretap where you've got the content.
It's like an old school phone bill where it sort of lists out the number of calls and the duration.
Right. So if he's making a big deal about the non-content nature of those, meaning, well, I don't know what he was saying, then why is he also saying flight? And why is he asking the judge to make a finding of flight? Because that's the only way you can hide that from the person who it's directed at. And by the way, what judge is signing? Just this week, it's reported that a magistrate judge refused to sign an affidavit of arrest for Don Lemon. Where, kudos to that magistrate. Where's the judge who's signing a non-disclosure to the number 3 in succession to the presidency, who's being sworn in 16 days before of the opposition party? It's stunning to me that we're sitting here and that this guy is acting like, no, the flight risk was somebody else. Well, who's the somebody else? He's looking at Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump the flight risk? Is that what he's saying? Is it the butler down at Mar-a-Lago who's the flight risk? Who is the flight risk that he thinks Kevin McCarthy is talking to? He's full, as to quote my father, he's full of more shit than a Christmas goose.
Well, thank you.
And on that note, we're going to leave it, Gary.
Yes, thank you very much for correcting me on the Jim Jeffries slip. He's one of my favorite comedians. I always slip up between Jim Jordan and Jim Jeffries. So if you want something to laugh at after you're done with this episode, go check out some Jim Jeffries clips.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Reasonable Doubt. Subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/Reasonable Doubt Podcast.